Mia, what's this about you coming to visit this weekend? I don't remember giving my permission for you to come. What do you even want? This isn't a holiday coming up, so there's no reason for you to lounge around my house. Don't you understand that you are just a stranger? You can't just pop by every time you feel like it. You should be more considerate about other people's convenience, you know. Stranger? I get that you don't like me, but I've been married to Tom for 3 years now. You could at least accept that I'm your daughter-in-law. Anyway, it's not like I decided that I wanted to visit either. I already know that my presence bothers you, so if I could avoid going, I would. I'm just visiting because I've been invited to come, and it would be rude to keep on declining. Can't we at least be civil for the sake of the loved ones around us? Tom says that he wants to watch the baseball game with his dad, and I'm just tagging along because Ted wants to see me too. Is it really that big a deal? I would understand the overreaction if I was bothering you every weekend, but I've tried to keep my distance in my own way, and have only gone to visit when Ted really insists that I come see you both. Even then, you still make a fuss about how I'm being so selfish and how I'm in the way. In the first place, I don't understand why you hate me so much and what I've done wrong. I've tried to be as sympathetic as possible, but to be honest, it's getting really tiring. The problem is that you don't know your place. I don't like the fact that you act as though you're part of our family when you come to visit, even though you don't belong here. You need to be more aware of the fact that you are just a stranger. And yet you come to my house, eat the food I've prepared as though it's all a matter of course. Even though the food I've made is meant for family, not for outsiders like you. It annoys me to no end that you think you can waltz and lounge around my house as though it's your own. I don't understand the nerve. How on earth your parents raised you, I have no idea. But they've clearly failed to raise you into a responsible and considerate adult. I wish I could give them a tip or two about how they should have brought you up, but even if I did that, it's much too late. No amount of discipline can change your horrible attitude now. I think it's weirder that you refuse to accept me as part of your family, even though I'm married to your son. I thought marriage was supposed to bring people, two families, together, not make me feel as though I'm unworthy of being treated equally. What do you expect me to do? I've offered to help out with the cooking before, but you refuse to let me touch anything as though I'm contaminated or something. So what should I try next? Bring my own packed lunch when we're supposed to be having a family dinner? Should I sit on the floor instead of sitting at the table when we're eating? If that'll please you, I'd be happy to do so. It'd be a lot easier to do all those things instead of having to suffer the silent treatment and glares you give me. But I'm sure that doing those things will raise a lot of eyebrows among the other family members that are attending, and Ted is much too kind to let me do any of that. So I think your only choice is to accept that I'm family and try to get along with me like I've been trying to do with you. Let's be civil, for Tom and Ted's sake. Why can't you understand that your defiant attitude is the problem? You're always so sarcastic and bossy, and it gets on my nerves. You need to show more respect towards your elders, especially to the mother of your own husband. If we're talking about sarcastic and bossy, I think you'd win by a mile. That's the attitude I'm talking about. You should listen to yourself speak. I've never met someone with so much cheek. On top of that, you're always turning up with Tom and getting in the way of our family time. Why can't you let him come home to visit by himself and leave us in peace? Don't you feel guilty for coming between a mother and her son? Honestly, the way you act tells me that the only thing you think about is yourself. You are a selfish woman, and I knew it was a mistake to let Tom marry you. I know that you don't want me visiting, so I try and avoid going as much as I can, too. But whenever I say that I can't make it to a dinner or a gathering, Ted always offers to change the date to one that's more convenient for me, saying that he wants everyone included. If you want me to stop coming, I hope you understand that you'll have to explain why I can't come to your husband first. Unlike you, he actually treats me like an actual daughter, and wants to see all of us together. The more I say no to Ted, the more he worries that I don't feel welcome, which is actually true, but of course, I don't have the heart to tell that to his face. He's not the reason why I don't feel like I belong with you at all. And Melissa is a great little sister. She is the best sister-in-law I could have ever hoped for, and she seems like she's really fond of me too. I consider you all an important part of my life with Tom, and I want to spend time with Ted and Melissa too. I don't see why there's a problem with me visiting every now and again.
I'm telling you that you're not just visiting my home. You're getting in the way of my quality time with my family. You should be more aware of the trouble you're causing us. You're just a stranger, so don't act so friendly with my husband and daughter. You can't seriously think that they actually like you. They just say all those things because they have to keep up appearances. You don't even understand that, do you? So you think that you can barge your way into my home on the weekend? Don't make me repeat myself. You don't belong here. You've got nerve, thinking that you have the right to invade our personal space.
I understand that you really aren't listening to anything I say, and don't even care to try. If you really don't want me visiting your home this weekend, I'll try and figure out a way to avoid it. I'll have to talk to Tom, and he'll most likely be disappointed that I can't come with him. But I'll find a way for him to visit without me going with him. He was saying that he might want to drink while watching the game, so I was going to go with him so I could drive him home, but I guess that's out of the question.
Don't talk about him like he's a child. He can get there without your help. And of course he can drink all he wants. He was living here until he left for university, and his room is still available for him to sleep in. He can stay the night. This is Tom's home, not yours. It's a matter of course for him to come home, but there's no space for you to stay. I don't care what excuse you make, but I don't want you coming here. I don't remember giving birth to you, so I have no obligation to treat you like a daughter. You may be married to Tom, but that doesn't make any difference. I never liked you, and don't plan on trying. My son deserves much better, so if anything, he should just stay here where he belongs, not with you.
I don't remember being raised by someone so overbearing either. I understand that you love Tom, but I love him too, and he chose to marry me, so you should respect his wishes too. I think that includes wanting us to get along.
I don't care about your reasoning. Tom clearly isn't thinking straight if he's chosen to spend the rest of his life with a woman like you. Anyway, I don't want you coming this weekend, but don't you dare talk to my husband behind my back. You'll regret it.
How am I supposed to explain the reason why I can't come if I don't talk to him?
You don't have to tell him. Just don't turn up. It's that simple. I don't know what you did to make him like you so much, but I'm sure that doing something like that will make it easier for him to realize that he made a mistake to trust you. It's been annoying seeing how doting he is of you, and I wish he would see that you're no good for Tom. I don't want you saying a word to Ted about anything I've said. I'm warning you. It'll be a pain if he starts thinking that I'm bullying you, or being mean when I'm just trying to fix that warped personality of yours.
I think anyone would agree that you're bullying me if they saw this conversation.
What did you say? I have done my best with you, and you dare say that I'm bullying you? You're such an ungrateful young woman. Really, what does Tom see in you?
No, it's nothing. I know that you're doing your best. Anyway, I'll talk to Tom about this weekend, so please don't get that upset. I won't talk to Ted either, and I'll have Tom give him an excuse for why I'm not with him. I understand that it's difficult for you to like me, but I'm trying my best to get on with you as well. Tom wishes we could be closer, but if we could at least accept each other's importance to him, I think it could be easier. Well, I'll have Tom let you know what happens. You know the trip to your parents' house we were planning for this weekend? I think I'll pass after all.
Huh? But I thought we already decided we would go together. Why did you change your mind all of a sudden? Did something come up at work? If it's not work, could you reschedule whatever it is for another day? I already told my dad that you're coming, so I can't tell him that you changed your mind. You know that he's really fond of you, and he'll be really disappointed if he hears you can't come this time either. And you know that it's important we see them this weekend.
I know he is. And I'm really happy that he's always so generous towards me. He and your sister always make me feel like I've actually joined your family, and I love them like my own family, too. It's not work. It's just that your mom found out that I'm coming with you. And she started messaging me again. Your mom doesn't make any effort to change, even though I'm doing my best to be really patient with her. I think it's best to just keep my distance and let her have her territory. It's pretty obvious that I'm not wanted there, and I can't enjoy myself, let alone relax, if she's always so cold towards me. I want to get on better with her, but no matter what I do or say, she's always so critical and finds a problem to complain about. It's worse that she gets so jealous about me talking with Ted and Mel so normally.
Don't let her bother you so much. You've got all of us backing you up if she ever crosses the line. And besides, she's all bark and no bite. At the very least, she's been pretending to get along with you when you're with all of us, hasn't she? She cares too much about appearances to make a fuss in front of Dad.
Yeah, that's true. She's always making nasty comments when she messages me, but her personality changes completely when I meet her in person. It really makes me feel uneasy. And it makes it even more difficult to show you how horrible she really is to me. It's like it's all just my imagination until we leave, and she starts messaging me about the things she must have been bursting to complain about.
You can always show me your conversations, you know. It'll make it easier for me to tell her to stop if I know exactly what she's saying to you. I don't know what she always messages you about, but she must just be craving attention. I know that you've already spent a lot of time trying to get to know her and find something you have in common, but she probably needs more time to accept that she doesn't have me to herself. She was always really overprotective of me, and now that she's feeling lonely, she's probably taking it out on you. That's not your fault, and it's wrong of her to do that. So if she does say anything when we go this weekend, tell me. I'll stop her, and won't let her say anything to you. So don't worry. You don't even have to talk to her. You can spend the day with me and Dad, and Mel will be there in the evening, so you can have her stick with you too. Also, I was hoping that we could take it easy and have a few drinks, so we might end up spending the night. Do you think you'll be okay with that?
What? You want to spend the night? No way! Even if there was a 1 in a million chance I'd be okay with it, there's no way your mom would be. Tom, I don't want to stay the night. I can already imagine the mood she'll be in the morning, and the way she'll grumble about the crease on my PJs, or that I used too much toothpaste, or that I didn't wake up early enough to help with making breakfast. I can't get anything right with her.
Please, Mia, I'm begging you. It's the first game of the season, and I don't want to miss it. Dad and I have been looking forward to this for months. I want to watch until the end, and I'll be drinking, so I can't drive us home. It'll be easier to just stay the night. Please? I won't make you come with me the next time I go to visit. You just have to visit this time, so we can give them the news.
I'll go. But I'll drive us home. That's what I always end up doing anyway. This time is no different to every other visit we've made.
You know why I don't want to make you do that. You'll be just as tired as I'll be. Maybe even more because of my mom's attitude, and because you're moving around for 2. Plus, the game might continue until late, and by the time it's over, it'll be pitch black outside. I don't want to risk anything, especially not now. You understand that, right?
Yeah, I know why you're worried. I don't want to risk anything either. All right,
Then will you promise me this? If your mom starts picking a fight, will you please come between us? I don't think I can handle any more stress from her. Even if I try and ignore her, she just starts name-calling and accusing me of being disrespectful. So you've got to stop her before I actually lose my temper with her.
Of course I won't. Leave it all to me. Even if she's my mom, I can't let her keep on hurting your feelings like this. She's got to understand that you deserve her respect too.
Thank you, honey. If you're that sure, then I'll trust you and I'll just focus on announcing the news on Sunday morning.
Are you an idiot? What the hell is wrong with you?
I think that's my line. I can't believe you would do something so stupid. I always thought that the way you were so two-faced towards me was off, but I never thought you would go this far. I hope you understand that I am never going back to your house ever again. I never want to see your face. I'm going home.
Go home for all I care. I'm glad you finally understand. You were never welcome here in the first place. There's no place for you here. Not for a woman like you, who thinks that she can use this house like it's her own home. You've got the audacity to lounge around my house. Who do you think you are? You better leave while my husband and son are still watching the game on TV. Honestly, there's something wrong with you. How you can walk around like you own the place is beyond me.
Excuse me? You're the one that's got something wrong with her. Do you even realize what you've done?
What did you say? How dare you speak to me like that? I deserve respect. I am your husband's mother. You can't talk to me like that. Take that back right now.
Respect? You think you deserve respect after the way you've treated me these past few years? After what you've done tonight? Respect is something that everyone deserves. But you don't even want to respect that your son chose to marry me. You don't even treat me like you should treat any acquaintance, even though we're supposed to be family. All I did tonight was try and use the bath, and you got mad and punched me in the stomach. You think I owe you respect? All you get is a restraining order with an attitude like that. There's something wrong with the sense of entitlement you have, and it's clear to anyone that you're in the wrong here. Maybe you should calm down and think about what you've done, and you'll realize that you've messed up. While you're at it, why don't you think of an apology? If it's sincere enough, maybe I'll rethink the order.
Oh, now you're showing your true colors. I let you talk, and all you do is insult me. Apology? Why should I be apologizing to you? I haven't done anything wrong. You're the one that tried using the bath in my house, even though you're a stranger, without permission. What's wrong with me stopping you? It's my house.
Without permission? I only tried using the bath because Mel said I could use it before going to bed. I would never barge into someone else's bath without asking first. I was offered it. Also, I've used the bath in this house before, and you didn't make such a big deal out of it then. And stopping me? With your fist? You can't just ask me not to use your bathroom like an adult. I would have just gone to bed without a bath if you had asked nicely, since I'm not as childish as you are. But instead, you came into the bathroom when I was changing, grabbed at me, and punched me. What is the matter with you? I can only think that you've got some serious issues that you need to sort out. Have you ever considered taking anger management classes? Because I'd be really grateful if you could start taking them.
If I had asked you not to use the bath, then it would make me seem like I was the bad person in that situation. You would have gone to complain to my son and husband that I was being mean to you and act like the victim. Don't you understand something that simple?
You're completely at fault in this situation regardless. I can't believe you could have done something so unacceptable. I can't take dealing with you anymore. I've been really patient with you, Sophia. But you've been way too horrible and much too rude. I'm not going to take any more disrespect. I don't think anyone can blame me for being so angry. To be honest, I don't think anyone could blame me if I hit you back involuntarily. But unlike you, I don't believe violence is the answer. I want you to be able to understand that what you did was wrong, and I would never be able to do that if I had acted on impulse and stooped down to your level. Excuse me? I'm at fault. Even though you're the one that used my bath? How many times do I have to tell you that you're just a stranger in this house, and you don't get to use this house like the rest of us do? What's so bad about me disciplining you for not listening to what I said? You're like a dog that peed on the floor. You need to be taught a lesson. A dog? My God. You're going to regret ever having said that, and ever having punched me. What? Are you threatening me? What are you going to do? What on earth do you think you can do? I'm really pissed off right now, so you better not test me. I'm going to tell your entire family what you did. There's no way Tom or Ted or Melissa will want to stay with you after they hear what you've done. I'm going to get my revenge for the way you treated me, and you're going to be a very lonely old woman. Oh, really? Try it. There's nothing you can hold against me. They're my family, and there's no way that they'll choose you over me. I came first. Ted's my husband, and Tom and Melissa are my children. They'll support what I did, and they won't ever side with a stranger like you. Do you know why? Because they're not your family. You're just a stranger. This is my house and my family. I come first. You know what? I've had enough talking sense into you. I'm going home. But you better prepare yourself. I'm not going to forget about this, and I'm not going to let you get away with it. I've had enough of keeping quiet about the things you've said and done to me up until now. I thought it was best not to say anything so that it wouldn't ruin your relationship with Tom, but you've gone and blown it up yourself. When he finds out what you've done, you'll be sorry. I don't think we'll ever meet again. Goodbye. Mia? Mia, answer me! You've got to come back. Where are you? Hurry up and get back here, right now, Mia. Would you please stop messaging me? I'm ignoring your messages for a reason, and ordering me around isn't going to help anything. I have no obligation to listen to anything you say to me. Actually, I never had any obligation to, so you should be thankful that I was so reasonable up until now. If you're going to complain about the stuff I left there, I'm going to go and collect it when I go to pick Tom up. So would you please give it a rest? I don't want to see you, and I don't even want to talk to you. So if you'll excuse me, I'm busy. Wait, Mia, you've got to come back. You've got to come back right now, or I'll get kicked out. Stop pouting and get back here. Hurry up. Why should I come back? You say that I'm pouting when I'm rightfully angry with you for punching me, and you have the nerve to think that you can order me around? Why should I do anything for you? You haven't even apologized for what you've done. As long as you think you haven't done anything wrong, I don't feel comfortable talking to you. What? You expect me to apologize to you? For what? Why should I? You're the one that should be apologizing to me for making me the bad person. Oh, well, that's a shame. If you don't even want to try apologizing, there's no reason for me to come back. I guess it's difficult for someone as self-centered as you to understand when you've done something bad. Well, it's not like I would have forgiven you that easily after everything I've had to suffer. The best thing for me to do is just keep a distance and prioritize myself. I've got to put my physical and mental health first. Who the hell do you think you are? You think I owe you an apology? And you say that you wouldn't have forgiven me anyway? Since when do I have to ask for your forgiveness? I'm your mother-in-law. You owe me respect. If I tell you to do something, you should shut up and do it. So shut up and come back right now. I'm ordering you. How many times do I have to tell you before you listen to me? You're the one that told me to get out, remember? I was happy to do as you said then, because I didn't even want to look at you. But now I don't have to listen to a word you say. I don't have to listen to anything you order me to do, especially if everything you say is contradictory. You contradicting yourself just shows how unreasonable and selfish you are. And I've had enough of it. I'm not coming back.
I know that I'm contradicting myself, but I really do need you to come back or I'm in a lot of trouble. You've got to help me, so come back. My husband's angry with me. He says that if I don't get you to come back, he'll kick me out. But why? I don't understand. Why is my husband siding with you? He should be agreeing with me. He's my husband. You must have seduced him. I know it. You're capable of doing something disgusting like that. It's the only way I can make sense of why he's so fond of you. Seriously? How much more nonsense are you going to talk? First of all, when he said to get me to come back, I think he meant for you to apologize. Second of all, I have not seduced your husband. I think the main reason why he's so fond of me is because I've been helping to pay the loans on your house. And because Tom and Melissa also sided with me, too. What? I've been paying the loans for the house you've been living in. I think that means that it's pretty much my house. Though, of course, I don't want to think of it like that. I don't want Ted to feel that he owes me anything. But no matter how much I tell him that I don't want him to make a big deal out of it, he's too kind. I think that explains why he's always favoring me and wants to treat me to dinner at your house. That's why he treats me especially well, and why you might thought it was strange that he was favoring me. But I haven't seduced him. You should think a little more before making ridiculous accusations like that. What? You mean that you're the one that's been paying for the house? The house I'm living in. This house. Are you being serious? Ted had some problems with his business a year or so ago and was in a lot of debt. It was too much for him to handle the loans and the debt all by himself. So Tom and I spoke with him and I offered to pay the loans on his behalf until he clears up his debt. He said that it would take a few years for him to pay back the debt, but he promised that he would pay me back. So it was decided that I would take over paying for your house. Ted himself insisted that I use your house as if it were my own home, and I think that's why he wants me to visit more often, so I can relax and put my feet up. Unfortunately, it's had the opposite effect. But he never told me that he had gotten into debt because of his business. Why wouldn't he have told me? I bet you're just lying to make me feel like I owe you that apology. Why should I believe you when Ted hasn't told me himself? I never knew anything about his business failing. I'm not lying to you. If you don't know anything about your husband's business, that's your problem. You've got to talk to Ted about that. Or maybe Ted felt that he couldn't tell you. I don't know. It just shows that there's a lack of trust in your relationship with your own husband. Oh, that reminds me. You were saying something about my parents not raising me properly earlier? Well, I'd like to say something more about that. I think you've met my parents before on several different occasions, and you know what kind of people they are and the work they do. You know that they own a company, and that I'm helping out with running it. I should let you know that they're the reason why I was able to help Ted out with his financial problems. You owe my parents just as much as Ted does, and yet you insulted them in their child-raising methods and insulted me. I would never hold this over Ted, but you've gone way too far with your attitude. I didn't know. Yeah, and I'm sure that your attitude wouldn't be any different towards me even if you did know. But regardless of what my parents had done for you, you should have never treated me like that. I just want you to know how much you've embarrassed Ted by acting like such a selfish child towards me, someone he feels he owes so much to. Do you finally understand why Ted's so angry with you? I don't blame him for making you apologize and ordering you to get me to come back to the house. I do. So will you please come back? Now he's angry about me punching you. He's been shouting at me why on earth I thought violence was the answer. He won't calm down, no matter how much I try to explain what happened. Why does he even know about me punching you?
He and Tom were watching the game when that happened. I thought he wouldn't realize.
You thought it would be okay as long as he didn't realize? How naive can you get? I called Tom and told him what happened. You're going to answer for this.
What? Why would you do something like that? Now it really does look like I'm the bad person here. Stop playing the victim and tell them what really happened. Tell them how you are flouncing about acting like you could do whatever you like in my house. All I did was punish you for that.
I'm pregnant.
Excuse me?
I'm pregnant. You punched a pregnant woman in the stomach. That's why I left in a hurry, so that I could go to the hospital and see if everything was okay. Why wouldn't I call Tom and tell him what happened? Do you understand how serious this is? You're lucky that I didn't have to call him to tell him that I had a miscarriage. If I lost the baby, I would have come back to the house and torn you apart. But now I know everything's okay. I'm going to keep it that way. I'm not going anywhere near you.
I didn't know that. How was I supposed to know? You never told us you were going to have a baby. It's not my fault. If I had known you were pregnant, I would have never punched you in the stomach. I swear! You've got to come back!
But you would have punched me elsewhere, I guess. Whether I'm pregnant or not, you shouldn't have punched me. End of discussion. Tom and I were planning on announcing the news tomorrow morning after breakfast. That's why I thought I should endure the night to get the announcement over and done with, because we wanted to tell you all in person. But that's impossible with you. Punching me was your choice and your mistake. It's all your own responsibility, and you've got to pay for it. I wouldn't be surprised if Ted decided he wanted to have a divorce. Tom says that his dad is pretty upset, especially because he had to find out about his first grandchild like this.
Ted would never ask me for a divorce. He wouldn't do that. We've been married for over 20 years. I know he's upset, but that's because he doesn't understand. If he listens to what I have to say, then he'll understand. He won't even look at me, and he keeps on moving rooms when I go near him. I'm just waiting for him to calm down before I try to talk to him again. Until then, would you just come back? I'm sure he'll be in a much better mood if he sees that I've managed to bring you back. It looks like this has all been a big misunderstanding. So if we could just talk this all through, I'm sure we can get along.
Get along? Even though you won't apologize for punching me? I don't have anything to say to you. You're a danger to me and my baby. That's all I have to say.
A danger? Mia, you're overreacting. I didn't know you were pregnant. I wouldn't have done anything if I knew.
I don't care. Say all the excuses you want, but there's nothing that will make me change my mind. You should think about what you've done, and think about how wrong it was for you to punch me, regardless of whether I was pregnant or not. I've tried a lot these past few years to talk things through, to just obediently do everything you say and keep my distance. But no matter what, it hasn't been enough to get you to accept that I married your son. I don't think that I have the time or energy to waste on you anymore. I'd rather put all of that in raising my baby into a person that respects other people. Up until now, you've done a good job of hiding your true nature from your son and husband, but now you revealed everything to them yourself. Now you'll just reap what you've sown. All the things that you've said to me, the chores you forced me to do and complained about, the insults, they're all going to come back to haunt you.
Don't say that. We can talk about this. I'm sure that we can be good friends if we just try and meet each other halfway. You can't give up on having a good relationship with your mother-in-law like that. I didn't know you were pregnant, but I'm so happy to hear such good news. I want to hear more about the baby. When did you realize you were pregnant? When the doctor thinks it's due? Please, talk to me. And I'm grateful that you helped my husband when he needed it. I didn't know, but now I do. I'm aware that we owe you so much. I was wrong about you for being a terrible daughter-in-law, and I want us to get along. Please, this is all just a misunderstanding. I want us to be friends, so please, come back and let's start over. You can't just ignore me forever. I want to be part of your lives and to help take care of the baby when it's born.
No, thank you.
You don't have to be that stubborn. You've got to understand that I'm making an effort to reach out to you. And what about the effort I'd made up until now? You didn't think much of that, did you? Besides, even Tom has had enough of you. Neither of us thought that you could go this far, so it's not his fault, but he's shocked and ashamed that you could have hit me like that. He's upset that he didn't realize before it happened, but now he's realized that he needs to make his priorities clear. He agrees that I shouldn't come back there. So stop messaging me. We don't want anything to do with you. I'm sorry. I really am. I'll apologize as much as you want me to, so please don't cut me out of your lives. You finally feel like apologizing? It's too little too late. That punch was the straw on the camel's back. Goodbye, Sophia. I don't want you coming near me or my family, and of course that means you can't meet your grandchild. But I guess you must be really glad that it turned out the way you wanted it to. Now we really are strangers.
In the end, Sophia not only lost the chance to bond with her daughter-in-law, but she also lost her own son, who announced that he wanted to cut ties with her. She also lost her chance to meet her first grandchild. No matter how much she begged him, Tom refused to tell her when the baby was due, and he left his parents' house before she could ask anything more. Ted was furious that she hadn't apologized to Mia properly, and demanded a divorce. He was ashamed that she could have treated Mia so badly and criticized her for not making her feel welcome. He wouldn't listen when she cried and wailed at him to forgive her, and only said that as long as Mia couldn't forgive her, he didn't want to even look at her. Their daughter Melissa had heard everything that happened from her brother, and she was appalled that her mother could do something so low. She was told that she didn't deserve to stay in the house that Mia had paid for after the way she treated her, and ended up being kicked out of the house by both her husband and her daughter, and was told to never come back. The night she was kicked out of the house was the coldest night of the year, and she had nowhere else to go, so she used all the money she had on her to get to her son's house, in the hope that she could talk to Mia again. When she turned up on their doorstep, they refused to let her in and told her to leave. She begged them to at least let her use their bath so that she could warm up after coming so far, but unsurprisingly, their reply was negative. They both answered that they didn't want to let a stranger use their bath, and Sophia was shut out of their home. She cried and pleaded with them to open the door, but nobody would come. I don't know what she expected. It was her own fault for the way she behaved towards Mia, and crying wouldn't fix anything. The only thing Sophia could do now was reflect on her actions. As for Mia, the doctors let her know that the impact of the punch didn't have any effect on the baby, and assured her that the bruising she had would disappear in a few days. A few months later, she gave birth to a healthy, beautiful baby, and her family and Tom's family all celebrated the birth with dinner at Ted's house. Unfortunately for Sophia, the invitation to see the baby never came.